Yeah.
Some people who don't know.
Oh,
yeah, that's...
Okay, so I am going through the process of buying a house, and what happened was Leanne and Kirk bought a home that was foreclosed to buy and then sell as a flip house. And when I went to see their new flip house, within one day, as soon as I showed up, I wasn't even planning on buying a house, and I started talking about, well, when it's mine, I'm going to do this. Like the day I saw it. I don't know why. She's like, well, we're going to take this door out. And I'm like, no, when it's mine, I want to keep it there. And so long story short, within the next week, I was shopping. So it has been 12 weeks. I don't want to take everything. Okay, so it's been 12 weeks of everything possible that could go wrong in the closing process. That could go wrong, has gone wrong. Okay, so then this past week we thought we were good, we were finally going to make it, and we found out, I talked with some different lawyers, what is going on, and we found out that there is a law, and Adam, plug your ears if I can make this wrong, that yes, okay.
I can talk about this part. I'm a lawyer. Well, there's actually not a law, but basically if you buy a house, which we did at tax sale, they give you what's called a quit claim deed. And a quit claim deed basically says they quit, just like it sounds. But that provides a risk to a company that's giving someone a loan. So basically the gist of it is they do not want to do it. So the local people said, we will do it, but you got to wait 2 years. So we're like, wait a minute, we don't really want to wait 2 years for this to happen. So they said...
You really can't wait 2 years for this to happen.
Yeah, right. Well, whatever. So they said, there is this other company out of Utica that we could potentially try and see if they would do a loan. We don't know if they will or not. So they went ahead and sent the paperwork down there. In the meantime, it's Thursday. We're supposed to close on Friday. And I'm kind of wondering, what's going on? Are we going to be able to close? So the lawyer doesn't really give us much information. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to call around. So I call around to the first agency. They tell me they couldn't do it. They explained to me why. And they said, but there's this other company in Utica. The guy's name is so-and-so. So I'm like, all right, let's Google the name. So we Google the name, find the number. I call the guy, and I basically tell him the situation. And he's like, this isn't even close to on his radar. I mean, he doesn't even really... After talking to him for about 5 minutes, he's like, oh, yeah, I remember something like this. I said, do you know we're supposed to close tomorrow? He's like, oh, no one ever told me that. And I'm like, seriously?
And we have to close by Friday because the commitment letter that she has ran out Friday. And if you don't close by then, you have to start the entire process all over. And, everything is all wrapped up in this house. This is kind of a big deal for us. We need to sell this house. So Friday needed to happen for us.
So with the title insurance people, they're like, oh, they'll extend for you. It's not a big deal. Well, the short answer is the bank would not. They were not going to give us an extension. So thus the Friday was real. So talking to the guy, I said, well, how long is this going to take? He's like, well, we can do it quickly. I'll try to get it done quickly. I'm like, what does quickly mean? Because at that time I thought we had until Tuesday. So I said, can we have this done Tuesday? And he's like, I'm not sure they'll do it, but if they do it, there's no way it's going to happen by Tuesday. It just can't happen. So
at this point, we have officially decided that we are freaking out. Because I don't know if Leanne would tell you this, but during my lunch break on Thursday, I talked to her and she was crying. And she said, I've never been more scared. Because basically, the fact that I was going to buy this, it was a done deal. So they put a lot of money into this house and literally would not, what are they going to do if it doesn't sell? They just bought a new vehicle. We'll have to sell all our vehicles. I'm not going to be able to be there. It was a big deal. And we were really upset. And in that moment, we decided, let's not do this. If God has never left us before, He's not going to leave us now. So we decided, if I have to move back into an apartment, if I have to move back in with my parents,
oh dear,
if you lose your vehicles, if you have to buy a smaller house, like let's think of the worst case scenario. Does it matter? What really matters is the fact that we're giving God glory in this and that He is in control. Like, do we believe that He is in control? And if He's in control, then this is no big deal. Like, I was sick at one time with a stomach condition, and he healed me of that. So the fact that people are saying this cannot happen, what do we believe? And there's a verse, the verse that says, be anxious for nothing. So we both decided, we sent each other scriptures back and forth that whole day. We are not going to stress, we're not going to worry. And it's amazing, automatically even my mood, changed. Like I came back that afternoon to school and one of the teachers asked me, so did you get any news? And I said, yeah, it's looking real bad, but I had a big smile on my face. And I said, but we are not going to worry, we are not going to fear, and we're good at this, we're good.
It's like, I've got prayer behind us. What more do we need but prayer, So, can I say the part where I woke up? Okay. So Friday morning when I got up, I said, and I did, we had time together, and I felt so much better that day, that end of that day. I just felt really good. Nothing had changed. It was still bad. But Friday morning I woke up and I said, God, I need a miracle today. And I know you can do it. And
so she texts me, we're almost done, 2 minutes. So then she texts me Friday morning, one day later, and says, are you ready for a miracle today? And I thought, silly Leanne, God's going to do a miracle, but I didn't mean 1 day later. So she writes me, are you ready for a miracle today? And then about 2 hours later, I just called and I said, guess who's buying a house? And she's like, what? And the lawyer had called me at 10 o'clock and she said, they'll do it. They'll give you title insurance. And I was like, what? And then I said, well, what does this mean about our deadline? They told us if we get it, we're not going to get it by the deadline. Well, we're just going to date it for today. And when we get it, we'll be good to go. I mean, who does that? She's like, we don't normally have closings where we date it for earlier than we, get it. So I just was walking around my house, thanking the Lord for hearing our cry and being able to go through something, I guess, sometimes shows you going through something that seems so impossible, and then you see it happen. There's only God could have done it, So it was pretty awesome. I just want to give one final reminder that just remember, if earthly things say something, that doesn't even matter. That God can do it, no matter what the situation is, whether it's health related, law related, who cares? God can do anything. He can do it. And there really is no sense of stressing and worrying. And I hope that the next time I'm stressed about something, maybe you too, you can think about this story and remember that it doesn't do anything and that God really is in control of our lives and He loves us and will take care of us.
Amen.
Okay, thank you.